Tuning in, keeping up with the show. Let's get it. So, why do we find it hard to express ourselves? Why do we find it a challenge to open up to peers, friends, relatives, those that we meet or potentially want to date? And why do we tend to struggle with vulnerability? Is it because most of us see it as weakness, as in not being confident in yourself, or just standards of an image? But what I can say in my experience is that it's just a large population of today's society tend to judge, and it make it challenging for those male and female to express themselves, to open up, to really build genuine relationships. Why is it hard to open up and express ourselves throughout encounters, situations, and new environments? And just from my experience as a young adult versus to a kid or a teen, I realize at this standpoint that we're more aware of how people think, what people could say, what's a possibility things can turn out a whole another way, where if we express ourselves or open up or explain how we feel throughout an encounter or situation, we feel that we will be misjudged, or a response more likely will be a negative response. It will cause us to say less next time. And with that, versus to being a kid or a teen, we're not aware to as many things as we are as an adult, where that we don't notice certain, signs of judgment, someone showing something differently towards your reaction as you express yourself. As a kid, we don't notice. We're clueless. We're focused on having fun. We focus on getting to know people. We don't think about how people feel or what they will think of about what we do. We don't think about other people as a kid. We so much as in for ourselves as a kid, versus to an adult, we're so considerate as in like, I don't want to say all of this, I might hurt this person's feelings, or I don't want to get to express myself because it might come off as wrong to the other person, where we won't get nowhere. So it's like all those scenarios, all those thoughts that goes through our head as an adult, it really make it challenging for us to really open up, to really express ourselves, to indicate like, hey, this is how I feel. And I believe with us opening up and being more transparent and honest directly, I believe that it will help people understand the other party a little more and a little sooner than us withholding information, because it's a pro and a con to everything. But when it comes to our self-image, we feel that we can't show all of it the first encounter or the first date or the first day of school as a teen. And as a kid, like, we didn't care. We didn't care who, what, why, how about someone else. We just didn't care what someone think of us as a kid. That's the last thing that ever ran across a kid's mind, because as a kid, you just like, no, I want mine. I don't care about the other person. I want it too. You know what I mean? Or I want to show you too. As a kid, we don't think about the effect when it comes to situations. We don't even think about the situation. We just think about, this is what happened, this is what I did, and this is what I've seen and witnessed. So as a kid, we have less pressure. We tend to be clueless. We don't think about, how anybody else feel. Which, as we grow, we tend to get judge. We tend to hear different comments. We hear that we shouldn't say those things, or we should hold information in, or don't say all of that because you might hurt their feelings, or don't express yourself when something good take place, or those around you might feel jealous. Like, it's saying that in this society of today, we have to say less because of someone else's emotions, someone else's feelings. And Yes, I'm number one for consideration, but when it comes to expressing yourself, I believe that everyone have a free will to express themselves. Everyone should have the opportunity to tell me how you feel. Tell me what's your intake. Tell me the truth. So just to spin back as of today with jobs, corporate, school, even environments such as retail, and the list goes on. We have it in our head that we have to react a certain way, behave a certain way, say less in situations when I feel that it should be expressed. Now, when it comes to expressing yourself, there's always a way to say things versus to not. And that's when it comes into make sure you're not hurting or, you know, making someone feel uncomfortable in a situation. That's not the goal, but the goal is to not hold back and to be honest. Just say it in a respectful manner. It's make it challenging when people hold back and people tend to say other things to hide the truth. And that would make us miserable because we can't be ourselves, or we can't show you who we really are, or I have to hold back so I don't hurt anyone's feelings around me because, oh, I'm succeeding, you know? And it goes far past jealousy or judgment. It's all about now. The truth is, why is that? Why is it a challenge for us to just express ourselves throughout several situations? You know, why is it? And you know what, one thing I could say just from recent experience, everyone trying to fit a picture. Everyone is trying to fit in. And it's because of society. Society is telling us we should be this way in order to succeed, in order to flourish, in order to receive the right benefits. You have to do this, you have to say this, you cannot say none of that. And I understand certain cases where you can't say certain things, where certain things should not go that route. But it should always be space for people to calmly open up and express themselves. In other cases, as in friend groups or family functions, if you just say like, I disagree with what's happening, or I don't like what's happening, or I don't want to do this, a group or your family will look at you crazy. And I'm just speaking in general, where even with me, myself, I feel that I can't say everything to my family and I can't say everything to certain groups. And how do I feel about that? I understand why. I just don't like the fact that I have to withhold information. I don't like the fact that I can't come to you and tell you, because not only that I'm saying I'm scared, I just don't want to affect the other person. And that's how society have it. You can't really say what you mean right then and there because it causes conflict, where it should cause better understanding, you know, more opportunity, more flow, more motion, another way to do things, a quicker way to do things. There's so much I could say about this. But even in friend groups, it's like, say we're all, you know, someone say, hey, let's all go fishing. And, you know, one or two people in that group not really big fan of going to fish, you know what I mean, or haven't been fishing. So what do? And let's say they don't say anything, they don't tell their friends that I don't like it, they just, you know, want to do it because they want to fit in, they want to be a part of something. And if they say otherwise, they're gonna feel like they're gonna get rejected for the next gatherings, or rejected in a way that oh, this person don't want to hang out with us, this person just don't want to be around us. And that's not the case. It's the fact that like I really don't like to fish. What I mean? I really think it's boring. And most people do. And myself, I love to fish, by the way. But it's just an example that I'm giving off here. And I actually heard this conversation, the feedback upon that subject I chose, which is fishing. Like someone I met don't like to fish. And that's okay. That's okay, but how would that make the group feel? They will just look at it as in like, oh, this person don't want to hang out with us, And it's not like that. It's not like that at all. And when it comes to family, when let's say you don't agree with certain foods for dinner, or you don't agree with certain foods for a cookout, not even just that, or you don't agree to certain music that's being played in cookouts or functions. I'm just making up examples, but this is where I'm getting to. One person is always going to disagree with something. One person is always going to feel otherwise about a situation or scenario. And to me, when that person or that group get to let me know how they feel about it. Like, say, like, I don't like that song. Okay, can we not, like, listen to that song? I'd rather someone be honest. I'd rather someone let me know what's up. Because why would I want another person to be uncomfortable? If I'm comfortable, I want the whole group to be comfortable. If, I want to be able to receive feedback, good or bad. I want to ensure that, of course, things are flowing the best way possible by everyone being on board. And to just hop over to relationships, I feel like guys have a hard time with expressing themselves, opening up, or letting someone know how they feel from the beginning. And why is that? Is it because they're told to be this tough person? They told to show no emotion. They're told to, if they show any type of emotion, they will come off as weak, or they will come off as in soft. And it's not cool to the point where a guy can't express himself. A guy can't open up and let you know how he feels. And we all know it's the way things come out, the way we say things to each other. We know that. But to spin back, why is it a challenge for our guys to open up? And not just relationships for our gentlemen. It's in every case, every scenario, at work, in family, with friends, meeting new people. It's the same thing where guys have to show this tough side when they want to just be like, and I just feel that if there was space for our gentlemen to open up and to keep it real firsthand, it will be less chaos. It will be less drama. It will be more of working together, more of changes, positive changes. I'm not going to say every change is going to be a positive one, but in that case, you will hear more how people feel on certain things, and you will also know how to go about it rather than not knowing how your class feel and you're going a whole different route about it when it can affect your whole class, because you want to be able to meet somebody on the other end. You want to come to an understanding. And when both parties come to an understanding, it's easier to navigate past certain scenarios or situations. And if we were to listen without judgment, especially to our gentlemen, it will cause more of a calm transaction where you will get to hear more, and it will calm both of you guys down, will calm the group down, because that's all that need to happen. That's why it's a lot of aggression, and this is men and female aggression, impatience, because we're holding it in. Also, we're projecting. because we're holding it in. And certain things are not fair. And if we say otherwise, it will affect us in a way. So what we do, we hold it in. So how do we go about that? Because as of right now, you have over 90% of people holding a lot of miscommunication, misunderstanding, feelings in that could really solve things within seconds, minutes, all because we hold so much in. It causes us to do what? It causes us to do the opposite of positive, obviously. And I'm learning this myself. I tend to hold things in because, once again, I don't want to make someone feel different, basically. And that shouldn't be the case. You should be okay with listening to anyone's feedback, good or bad, because that's how the earth rotates. That's what keeps the earth moving. You know what I mean? By people communicating, by people allowing that space for men and female to be transparent. Don't be rude, don't be mean, but allow him or her to say what they feel on certain things. Why is it if I express myself saying I like this, I like that, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, by me being open and expressing myself, it affects someone because they don't feel that either. And it's just like, it's okay if you don't feel the same way on a certain thing, or it's okay if you didn't, go a way that a certain person went. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's goal is different. And not everyone passed the first time. Everything is different because we are different from one another. Everyone on this earth is different from one another. That's why it's so important to also listen, and not listen to respond, not listen to throw an answer there. Is to really see the vision of the other person, really get that meaning of, okay, that's what's up. I know how you feel now. And do I like everything you're saying? It's a possibility. It can go both ways. But I got to hear you for you, and not something you would just throw at me to keep it going. You know what I mean? That's not okay, because that means moving forward, that person's gonna remain negative because he didn't get to express himself. He didn't get to open it up at that time when everybody else was, or when the other person got to. So I say it takes patience, and give everybody that equal fair share of expressing themselves. And the problem, as in today, people can't stand people being different. People can't stand people, maybe can do it a little better than them, or those that didn't go a certain route. It's a whole different ball game in 2025, and we all can agree to that. But how can most of us that's listening today be that role model, be that leader to hopefully, guide other people, to allow that space for people in general just to release, express themselves? Why do we have to go to someone in a negative way to vent? Why do we have to do all of that, which that is taking up a lot of time, rather than, okay, when the situation first happened. Say an example, a relationship. Okay, relationship. Let's say I'm in a relationship, and this is what really happened. So in my relationship, I started with always expressing myself, being open, saying how I feel, good or bad. But as time go on in that relationship, you realize at times one or the other could be moving a little faster when it comes to development, or when it comes to anything. But in this relationship, you have a person expressing themselves. Then, like, based off the way that person expressed themselves, it hold the other person back. Why is that? And that's another area where I'm about to dive deep into. When it comes to expressing and hearing your partner or your friend or relative um, go about a situation, and they're being direct and they're coming to you, they're talking to you, the source, about it, and they're expressing themselves. And you're getting all these thoughts in your head where now you like the fact they're opening up, you like the fact that they're coming to you about it, but how you're taking it now is like it's gonna limit you in a way. And we all go through this, we all have experienced this, because what is our goal? Nature. We tend to not want to hurt other people's feelings, but we actually hurting other people's feelings. We're hurting each other's feelings. That's just what it is. And in this relationship, I feel that allow both parties to open up, allow both parties to talk without judgment. And you're gonna hear shit you don't want to hear. You're gonna hear how this person probably did not like to go golfing, but he went because you like it. You know what I mean? And that's okay, because that's good to say, because guess what? Next time, that other person that loved to go golf will just go with a group that loves to go golf. And then, you won't be invited next time for golf because you don't like it. And the thing is, you would just come up with something else to do with that person or to do with your partner or that friend. All right, I'm about to actually wrap it up. I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. All right, but why do we struggle as humans when it comes to saying how we really feel, and what can we do about it, and how can we work on it? And what I have to say for this, my final statements to end the night, take your time and get to know yourself. Know what you want, know what you don't want. Understand the environment, understand those around you, understand your friends. Everybody's not going to be on the same page. Everybody's not going to be in that same mindset when it comes to certain functions, situations, environments, celebrations. But the way that we can start, the way that we can, you know, make a movement is to listen a little more. Listen a little more. And don't take everything that person say like and run with it. Like, don't do that. Don't shut down. Don't argue back. Don't jump into defense. Don't do that. Listen. Listen to the person all the way through, good or bad. Listen to each other. Allow space for that person to express themselves, because there's another day, rather than ending something right then and there and still having your attitude about it, still not over it, holding a grudge on it. It's far worse to keep something in your mind and your heart rather than squash it. It's a healing process to express yourself. And